everyone, and welcome to the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network in King Arena. I'm John Mark Mills here with Gabe Woodowis, and we're excited to bring you this matchup between the 12-8 Wheaton Thunder and the 5-17 Augustana Vikings. And Gabe, the Thunder coming in on a bit of a tear here, 4-0 in their last 4 conference matches, leading the conference. It's looking really good if you're a Thunder fan.
It certainly is, John Mark. Unfamiliar territory, if we're being honest, just historically speaking for this Wheaton program, but that makes it all the more exciting. This team has big things hopefully lying in front of them, but they've got a job to do here tonight. They are facing the last place team in the conference, but nothing comes easy in the CCIW, so the Thunder will be up for the fight here on home floor this evening.
Yeah, exactly, and as we mentioned a little bit before, just this Augustana team is probably a bit better than the record shows, so I think we're definitely expecting a closer matchup than you would maybe expect from a first place versus a last place, so the Thunder definitely can't be caught sitting on their laurels, as we will count down the seconds to the team intros as well as the national anthem just coming up very shortly here, so we'll see you in just a few minutes for the start of this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King Arena here at the campus of Wheaton College for tonight's CCIW battle between the Augustana Vikings and your Wheaton College Thunder. Before we meet tonight's stars, we ask that everybody may please rise to the play of our national anthem. Let's meet the starters for your Augustana Vikings, who entered tonight's match, the record 5-17, 0-4 in the CCIW. Number 10, Lexi Miller. Number 14, Olivia Goat. Number 23, Janiyah Davis. Number 24, Ashley Aubry. Number 26, Emily Skipper. Number 30, Sydney Kruger. And number 1, Grace Ranikar. The Vikings are coached by Kelly Duffy. And now for the Wheaton College Thunder. Number 3, the 5'16" Wisconsin, Marley Anderson. Number 4, 5'10" senior out of East Lansing, Michigan, Riley Barogan. Number 9, 5'11" freshman from Middleton, Delaware. Oklahoma, Ashton Major. Number 11, 5'9" senior from Littleton, Colorado, Audrey Gerd. Number 12, 5'11" senior from Chesterfield, Missouri, Colleen Smith. Number 15, 5'10" junior from St. Paul, Minnesota, Naomi Bunker. The Libero is Allie High. The Thunder coached by Stephanie Schmidt, assisted by Heather Moss.
Welcome back, everyone, as yes, we are just about to get underway. The rosters have been outlined. The time is up on the clock, and we are ready to go for this matchup between, yes, as we were talking about, a Thunder team that's coming in looking very strong, winning their last 4 conference matchups. Of course, dropping their latest match versus UW-Stevens Point 3-1. But as far as the matches that are really mattering for their conference play, the Thunder have been absolutely dominant recently.
Yeah, curious to see how the Thunder respond after that aforementioned loss to Stevens Point the other night. Obviously, they won't sweat it too much, as you said, being a non-conference match, but interestingly placed game here, a Tuesday night start to this one for Wheaton. They've got a couple of tricky road matches coming up at Elmhurst and then the one at Carthage, which, as things stand, it might be the ultimate decider for how this conference table shakes out. So Wheaton will be expected to take care of business here at home tonight against Augustana, but as we said at the top of the broadcast, may not be smooth sailing, so they'll have to be locked in.
Yeah, for sure, especially, seeing that matchup on the horizon versus Carthage, 4-1 in conference play is Carthage. So all of these matches important for sure, as we are now officially underway with Colleen sending one over top of the net. That's Colleen Smith with the hit, and that'll be the first point of the game in favor of the Thunder.
Smith picking up right where she left off from the Wheaton Thunder Quad tournament the other night. One of Wheaton's star players from the weekend matches, obviously helped by some defensive miscommunication on that point, but the Thunder will gladly take it.
Now Audrey Gers to serve. That one just crosses over the top of the net. Now coming across to the slam, but nice dig by Allie High. Here's Smith again. That one's handled relatively easily and then slammed across by Miller. That one is hit across by Briley Brogan, but kept up on the side of the Vikings. Now this should be a free ball for the Thunder. This is gonna go over for Major, who slams one down, and that's a beautiful dig from the Augustana libero. Now Smith again. That one fought off, diving to keep it up, and kept in and just drops out of play. A nice long volley between these two teams.
That was a phenomenal volley. I'm not sure we'll see a longer one or a better one all evening. That was a great rally between the two sides. And great heads-up play from the senior right there, Briley Brogan, at the end, just to let that ball drop out of bounds when the temptation to hit it was clearly there.
Yeah, not letting the furor of the moment get over her, as that's another point picked up by the Thunder. So an early 3-0 lead, as we'll see on the replay here.
Yeah, Brogan going from offense on the last point to defense here. Her and Major going up simultaneously. I think both may have gotten a touch on that one, just stuffed it right back down. Great start here for Wheaton.
Keep the serve with Gers. That one just punched straight in. That's a nice looking hit right in the far side corner, so nicely placed ball.
Yeah, Janiyah Davis right there in center court, the junior out of Los Angeles, California, getting Augustana's first point of the evening.
Bumped up by Anderson. Slapped over by Smith. Now just a short little tap is just not quite enough on it. That one from number 10, Lexus Miller, can't quite arc it over top of the net. The Thunder take a 4-1 lead.
That has to be the most frustrating feeling as an outside hitter. The ball's sitting up nicely for you and you just can't quite connect properly, watching it fall on the wrong side of the net.
Major sends that over. And that's Gers with the dig, then just slapped over by Smith. Then blocked down. That one by Naomi Bunker, was able to reject that ball.
Naomi Bunker coming into this matchup with 57 blocks on the season, just one behind teammate Kaylee Byerly, who leads the team in that category. So Naomi Bunker tied back up.
Yeah, and the Thunder also leading the conference in blocks. So this is something that this team has been doing well all year long. Definitely a big strength of the Thunder side with the likes of Naomi Bunker. And yeah, as you mentioned, just a lot of really great assets for the Thunder right along the net. So expect to see a lot of that as this game progresses. And now it's Augustana's turn to serve. That one kept up by Gers. It's going to be Smith again. Slams it down. Beautifully placed ball right in front of the Augustana libero.
And that is the most popular combination of Wheaton players we've seen all season. Marley Anderson setting it up for Colleen Smith, the two team leaders in their respective categories, assists for Anderson and kills for Smith. Be expecting to call their names quite a few times this evening.
Gives the serve right back to the Thunder. This is Mia Staub. Arcs that over top. A little bit of a misplay there, but should be a relatively free ball for the Thunder, and straight back to Smith. Yeah, as you mentioned, is definitely getting the lion's share of these attacks, and that one's sent over, and that'll be off the Wheaton block.
Yeah, Emily Skipper right there She leads the Vikings in kills, unsurprisingly, with contact like that. Good jump right there from Caroline Capps on the near side of the net, but just couldn't quite hit that one back in play.
There's the serve, and that's going to be an ace now. Just right out of reach, number 11 for the Thunder Gers.
Yeah, back-to-back big plays from Skipper for the Vikings. Got the kill on the last one and then the ace right here. And suddenly Augustana are back in this first set.
Skipper again with the serve. Gers fights that one off. Mia Staub rushes cross court and then hit over by Capps. Able to be handled by the Vikings. Tapped over. The block is made, and then that's Bunker with the quick reaction time to send it back over. Goes for the block again, and this one's slammed down the line by number 17 for the Vikings.
The visitors just winning the battle at the net right now. Wheaton struggling in the trenches. A little nice three-point run here for Augustana. Let's see if they can tie this game up at 6.
Right back in the hands of Skipper, and she sends that one far out of bounds past the end line, so gets an ace and then service error there. Gives the point right back to the Thunder.
That's exactly what Wheaton needed after conceding 3 in a row. It's perhaps a fortunate break. They didn't really earn that point, but they will gladly take it.
It's Colleen Smith on the serve. That's just over Smith and into an open pocket of space. See on this replay.
Yeah, that was Jaden Julius on the far side for Augustana. Good placement from her, but certainly a defensive breakdown from the Wheaton perspective. Coach Schmidt won't be very pleased with that.
It's a nice dig there by Kruger. This point will go in the favor of the Thunder. See what happened there on this replay. Looks like it was hard to tell exactly what happened there. Looked like Bunker probably got a hand on that, or maybe didn't quite get over the net. Either way, it's a point for the Thunder, and Allie High serves now. That's far out of bounds as well.
Well, Julius just had success on that type of hit a minute ago, so you can't blame her for trying it again, but Allie High was always going to let that one go. Easy to tell that it was floating long, and a couple of big points back-to-back for the Thunder to build up this 3-point lead.
And Allie High sends it straight into the net, so a few service errors from both teams, keeping this game close. Just a 2-point deficit early in the early stages here. That'll be Olivia Doak back to serve for the Vikings. Bumped by Gers, slammed by Capps, fought off, then diving and trying to get there with the, going for the pancake there is number 26, Skipper.
Yeah, Wheaton deserving that point. Great contact from Capps, but you have to respect the effort defensively from Augustana. They were doing everything in their power to keep that one alive. Just a bit of an unfortunate bounce off the hand, but now a 3-point lead again for the Thunder. Let's see if Marley Anderson can conjure up some magic from the service position.
Now here's the slam over. That's Allie High trying to get under that. Leads the Thunder team in digs, but couldn't quite get under that one.
Yeah, only player in the conference so far to register 400 digs so far on the season. If you're able to get it past her, you know you've done something right. Yeah. That was big contact from Augustana.
There's Ashley Aubrey. Allie High gets out and close to the net, but bailed out by her teammate, and then a diving play by Smith, but just couldn't save it.
Yeah, wrong side of the far pole there on the top of the net from Colleen Smith. Once again, great effort, but not quite getting it back in play for Wheaton, and a couple of big points once again for the Vikings.
Allie High gets under that. And just a beautiful tap by Ashton Major.
Well, she timed that jump perfectly just to get the fingertips to it, claw it over the net. Hard to say if that's exactly what she meant to do or if it just kind of came about by accident, but either way, take nothing away from the finish there from Ashton Major.
Luhar, the bump up, and then that's Nyla Davis just hitting it out of bounds. So the Thunder extend their lead to 3.
This first set already developing a clear pattern. One team will get a couple of points, the other team will immediately respond. Let's see if Wheaton can keep up the momentum here or if Augustana will work their way back into this one.
That's a huge slam by Miller, saved by the Thunder. That time Smith sends it over, but now it's another chance. Tapped across, handled, Allie High. Here's Smith. rolls off the fingertips. Miller with a beautiful cross-court play with the mix-up. Unbelievable play there, and vision to see that that part of the court was open.
That's exactly right. You just have to tip your cap to that. That is phenomenal play right there.
And Briley Brogan still even able to get there, not able to keep it up. This is going to go to Brogan who taps it and then slammed by Major.
Ashton Major lives for those kinds of balls, just floating right over the top of the net, falling right into her path. Easy slam right there for the freshman. And once again, a 3-point lead for the Thunder.
Major will get an opportunity to serve now. Backs up her opponent, and then that is sent far out of play.
Yeah, I think initially Augustana thought that a Wheaton defender got a touch to that because that ball went out of play, but Wheaton obviously claiming the point. Another attack error right there from the Vikings, and finally Wheaton has a little bit of breathing room.
Send up, cross court, saved by Major. It's going to go to number 4 for the Thunder, Briley Brogan. Bit of a long volley developing here, and it's the Vikings who end up capitalizing on that one.
And a much-needed response right there from Augustana. Once again, a great play from their outside hitters to hit it cross-court, out of the reach of any Thunder defenders.
Yeah, exactly. 2 nice cross-court plays, almost sequentially for the Vikings. That serve is sent up, and now here's Bunker with her first kill opportunity, and she makes the most of it.
There are some setups and some jumps where you can just tell before what the outcome's going to be, and that was an example right there from Naomi Bunker. There was never any doubt that she was going to finish that play off for Wheaton.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost felt like she was storing up her power this entire game to unleash right there and get the point. Now here's Staub sending it over. Fought off. Now slammed over top, saved by High. Colleen Smith. Hit up by Vranikar, and then cross court again. Vikings battling, staying in this one.
You cannot ask for any better placement off of a kill right there. That was phenomenal from Sydney Kruger, the middle blocker. Put it right where it needed to go. Nothing Wheaton could do about that one. I was a little surprised Augustana elected to keep the serve in at first. It looked like it was going long off the serve from Staub, but ultimately worked out in their favor.
This is Staub, and now Bunker. Not sure what happened there. Maybe went off of the...
I think she was a little too eager right there.
Yeah.
But you can't blame her with the kind of contact she got last time around. Just a bit of a miss hit right there from the middle blocker.
Lead cut to 2. And that one's going to go just out of bounds, not quite reaching that far line.
Yeah, great court awareness right there from Sophia Pluhar as we see her check out of the game on the far side, but she knew exactly to back off and not take a chance on keeping that one in play.
Smith to serve, tips over the net, and that is a bit of a favorable bounce for the Thunder on that one, but they'll take it.
She meant to do that. That was intentional.
Of course.
What I always find funny about plays like that, in tennis, you apologize when you earn a point
Right.
like that. In volleyball, no way. You are celebrating. You will gladly take it, even if it's accidental.
Yeah, a lot of sports you apologize and play it again. This time you just pop off, and that's exactly what happened there.
Naomi Bunker this time with a huge block on the far side of the net. Good elevation right there to stuff the Augustana attacker. Talked about this Wheaton team leading the conference in sets. You see another errant serve right there. And Wheaton finally beginning to create some separation in the second half of this set.
Yeah, and right around where you want to be creating that separation, within 7 points of closing this one out. 18-14. Now Allie High on the serve, and that's just a bit of a miscue there, and the Thunder will take that almost free point.
Yeah, much needed timeout coming up here from Augustana. Coach Kelly Bethke can tell her team is just falling behind a little bit in this first set. Wheaton finally kind of finding their groove, but we have to be honest, they have been aided by some technical mistakes here from Augustana.
Yeah, definitely a few errors from Augustana racking up, and a few bounces too that we saw, like on that ace that just tipped off the top of the net. So Thunder definitely just getting the bounces and playing well here, and able to capitalize off of the mistakes that the Vikings have been making. So I think definitely a well-timed timeout, just since this game is kind of nearing towards wrapping up, so we'll see what the Vikings can come out with out of this timeout.
Well, just watching this volleyball team play this year, it's clear that they like to start hot. They win a lot of their first sets. They almost always come exploding out of the gates. The question is, can they sustain the momentum if indeed they are able to close out this first set, which is not a given. But if they do win this set number 1, can they keep up that momentum and expect to go on and close this match out without much fuss? Or can we see a fiery response from Augustana in the second set?
Yeah, exactly. Augustana strongest in this first set statistically throughout the season, so really, really great job by the Thunder just to be aware of that and play a very strong, patient, and very stable first set against this Augustana team. And now we're back in business as Ali High with the serve. Now this one kind of wildly sent up. It's going to be a free ball for the Vikings. Let's see what they do with it. Here it comes, and the slam over top, off the block, and just Mia Staub can't quite get under it and save it.
Yeah, it was Audrey Gers that had to readjust right there. The ball coming to her off the deflection at the net. Can't blame Wheaton defensively for just kind of letting that touch get away from them. Another good attack right there from the Vikings. And, you know, it's only a 4-point deficit. Coach Schmidt will not be allowing her team to lose focus here towards the end of this set.
A very close game still. Major with the jump, and then Gers with the slam. Saved by High. Beautiful save. It's going to be a free ball for the Vikings, but nevertheless, great defensive play by the Thunder, although it's, oh, and they do get the block, in fact, so that goes in the Thunder's direction.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell if that was Major stuffing it at the net or maybe Augustana players couldn't quite get it over, but either way, once again, good defensive play right there from Wheaton, and they are the first to 20 here in this first set.
Now Marley Anderson tapped up and across, and we're going to get an infraction here on the side of the Vikings, so the Thunder extend their lead to 6.
Yeah, it looks like an illegal touch here for Augustana. Wheaton will gladly take it as the Vikings take their second time out of this set, 2 in quick succession. But yeah, Wheaton 6-point lead, 21 points. Obviously, they will be expected to go on and close this first set out, but can't afford to get too far ahead of yourself.
Yeah, that's an interesting tactic to take 2 quick timeouts within like the span of 2 points.
There seems to be very little rhyme or reason between volleyball coaches and when they take their timeouts. I always find that fascinating. Each coach has their own strategy, and obviously you can't plan ahead for that kind of thing because you don't know what the scoreline is going to look like. But yeah, a little bit of unorthodox here from Coach Bethke, but I respect it.
Right.
Let's see what Augustana can generate coming out of this timeout. Wheaton, to their credit, all season has been really strong out of timeouts. They've done a very good job of, whether they're winning, of keeping up the positive momentum, or if they're losing, coming out of the timeout and picking up a couple of quick points to lessen the deficit. But obviously, with a 6-point advantage coming out of this one, a bit of a different situation.
Yeah, and if you're the Thunder, like, kind of what do you say in a timeout like that? It's really on the other team to kind of figure out what they're going to change and throw at you, and you almost can't really plan too much ahead until you see what those adjustments are that are going to be made. Nevertheless, we're out of this second timeout now. And maybe that could just also represent the importance that the Vikings do place on this first set. Feeling like this is a set that they definitely want to take. And now falling further and further behind and in the hole as this is sent across by Anderson. Now popped up and a bit of a mid-range attack. Anderson, this is going to be Gers' ball. Slam, beautiful block down and then kept up by Smith. And High, and now Gers with a nice attack there, able to turn that into something out of nothing. Here's Anderson. Major tips it over, sent straight back, and that'll be the Thunder point.
Yeah, and you hate to see a long rally end like that because that was once again phenomenal play from both sides. Looked like Audrey Gers might initially have picked herself up a kill, but great defense from Augustana to keep that one alive, at least initially.
Anderson, that's just an unfortunate miscue from number 26 Skipper on the side of the Vikings. That's not what you want to see. You're trying to come back in a game that is still winnable, but definitely getting further and further out of reach. That High gets sent over, and that's a good response now from the Vikings.
Yeah, it looked like Alexis Miller once again on that right side of the court, in the area where she loves to be, slamming that one down. perhaps reigniting a little bit of a comeback here for Augustana. We'll see how this point plays out.
See what Ashley Aubrey can do. Thunder just 2 points away from securing this first one as Ashton Major sends it directly into the block from Janiyah Davis.
Yeah, Janiyah Davis with a couple of bright spots in this first set for the Vikings, both offensively and defensively. Obviously a big point right there for the guests.
Now 2 straight points. Anderson to Major, and that time she goes straight at Janiyah Davis again, and this time it's in the favor of Ashton Major.
At first you don't succeed, try again. That was never going to fail twice for Ashton Major. And set point here for the Vikings as Pluar checks in to serve.
Up by Vranikar. Here's the slam by Miller. She's been effective when she's had the opportunity to attack, because we've seen 2 of these most recent points from the Vikings coming from big spikes like that.
Yeah, one of the best players for Augustana in this first set, Lexus Miller. Making a lot of good things happen on that right side for the Vikings so far, but let's see if Wheaton can finish it off here.
Oh, and they will.
How clinical was that from Colleen Smith? Just the tiny touch at the net. Excellent play from the senior.
Now the slam and just reaches over, boop, taps it over. Beautiful
Sometimes that's
play.
all it takes. Don't always have to go full power.
Yeah, exactly. We know Smith can go full power too, so great little mix up there from her. And the Thunder take this first set 25-18. As we've kind of mentioned, a critical set from the Vikings, who seem to like to come out strong.
Their 13th first set victory of the year so far from Wheaton. They obviously have the advantage in that area, but they actually trail their opponents in the second and third set margin. So I'm curious to see how they can sustain this momentum. I think at one point does it become a mental thing where you just expect to not play as well in the second set? I think Coach Schmidt will be stressing the importance of avoiding a second set letdown here in the coming minutes. But, you know, undefeated in conference play, first place in the table, that's exactly the kind of start that you want as the home side that's expected to win tonight. So a positive beginning here for Wheaton, but don't be surprised to see the Vikings come out and make things interesting. I think that first set was more competitive than meet the eye, but we talked about that at the top of the broadcast, how evenly matched these teams actually are. When you go down the stat line, I mean, coming into this one, obviously Wheaton with a much better overall record, but kills per set, the number of assists and digs, all very similar when you go down the line. So I think Augustana obviously sitting at 0-4 in conference play, but that's a positive 0-4 if that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, no, exactly. To pick up on what you were saying, I was noticing just going down the stat line and how close the stats really are in a lot of these metrics. With assists and the kills per set are very, very marginal differences. Probably the biggest difference that we can see is maybe the blocks, which is, of course, what the Thunder seem to be most proficient at, leading the conference, leading the CCIW conference in that statistic. So, yeah, really not a lot separating these teams statistically, you know, outside of the record, really. It's kind of obviously the most important thing, but it just goes to show how those small little differences can lead to big gaps in the standings. What is, you know, overall a competitive conference, so no surprise that even the teams in the bottom of the table are able to hang with the top dogs. And, you know, the Thunder 12-8 overall isn't the most, you know, outstanding record, nothing crazy there, so certainly I think you got to be on your guard if you're the Thunder and just keep playing how you were playing. And, you know, I think that was a very strong opening set. Yeah, well, try to fight against some of those like second set jitters or whatever it's been.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. And as we talked about earlier, it's tempting. You got a kind of an awkward Tuesday night match with a couple of big conference matches on the road coming up. This is a classic trap game when you're the favorite team. So tonight is a mental battle as much as a physical one on the court. Augustana, I mean, at this point in the season, there's not much to lose. When you're sitting last place in the conference, you have the chance to play spoiler, and Wheaton being the lone undefeated team in the conference, now they have a target on their back. So Augustana will relish this opportunity to try to spoil the party. Let's see if they can take a step towards doing that in this second set.
Yeah, absolutely. Power of the underdog, and yeah, that just kind of they don't have anything to lose, exactly like you said. Augustana really does not have much to lose at this point. I'm sure the Thunder are going to get their best.
And John Mark, we do have some breaking news between sets. Some of the people listening to this broadcast may already know this, but Colleen Smith, just an hour or two ago, was named the CCIW Offensive Player of the Week for the second time already this season. So the senior continues to rack up the honors, and I don't know if she knew that before the start of the match, but she's already playing like she is.
She's playing like a
deserving of that
Player of
title.
the Week. Exactly. Yeah, I think she was one of the first names that we started to mention as this game kicked off, as that's kind of the play for the Thunder. Get it to Smith and let her hammer it over top. Absolutely, such an integral part of this team. As we are back underway, and the Thunder once again with 2 quick points. They got off to a fast start in set 1. Looks like they're doing right back where they left off in set 2.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's almost an identical start to set number 1, which is something that we're not used to seeing so far this season from Wheaton Volleyball. So a positive beginning, but can they keep it up?
Good rejection. This is going to be a free ball. Thunder can do whatever they want with this one. Send it to Gers. That's Vranikar getting under that. Now Skipper goes straight to Smith, who backs up and plays it high to one of her teammates. We got a bit of a long volley developing. Skipper beautifully placed ball. That was surprise. Kind of didn't expect to see that out of her. Not really a slam, kind of a mid-range hit.
Well, she's only a sophomore, but that was a 4-year play right there from Skipper. No surprise she leads the team in kills with little touches like that. Brilliantly disguised ball to fool Wheaton defensively. As we see Ashton Major, well, it's Augustana's point. I think Wheaton thought they got a touch there, but either way, great contact from the freshman once again.
Yeah,
I think my eyes were playing tricks on me. It looks like it got a little deflection at the net, but
thought I saw that too.
No complaints from the Thunder.
Alley high. This is going to go to Gers. Off the block. Now here's Miller, and that one I also for some reason thought got a touch but didn't, so that'll be Thunder point.
Referee's balancing it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that went off of maybe Major at the front, but make-up call maybe, who knows? It'll be Gers. And sends it directly into the net, so first service error we've seen in the set so far.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I mean, apart from the obvious 5th set when that happens, I think the beginning of the 2nd set might be the most critical stretch of a volleyball match, because when you have just lost the first one, especially when you're on the road like Augustana is tonight, you can ill afford to get off to a slow start and let the opposition seize the advantage even further. So you see a point for Wheaton right there off the pole. But yeah, we talked about how important this second set stretch is for Wheaton. It's arguably even more so for Augustana from a momentum perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to fall down 0-2. That's just a very tough hole to battle back from. Is now it's Skipper getting some redemption off of that play.
Yeah, and she lives for sort of those balls that are set up so nicely near the edge of the net right there here on this near side this time. Powerful contact once again. Wheaton just pretty helpless on the defensive end, and understandably so.
Skipper leading both teams in the kills department. That is Colleen Smith with the slam over top.
Getting a little personal battle developing here. Who can put it down with more force, Colleen Smith or Emily Skipper?
Knocked Grace Vranikar almost to the floor. It looked like that had a lot of velocity behind it.
I'm amazed that liberos and defensive specialists even try for the ball in that situation. That takes a certain amount of courage and determination.
Yeah, absolutely respect for even being willing to get under that and give it a shot. That one is arcs over top and out of play, so Thunder take a 2-point lead. Had some distance on it too, but it will get played. Here's Staub with the set. Smith tries it again. Just rolls it over top. That has a lot of spin on it. Staub plays it, bunker, taps it, saved, diving. Now sent over, free ball for the Thunder. Alley high, rushing forward to get it. That's slammed down and saved again. We got a long volley developing here. Sent directly over. Staub rushes forward to get it. High, Smith. Off the block, saved yet again by Skipper this time. Here we go again, off the top of the net and out of play. Unfortunate to see it end on a ball out of play, but what a volley.
That was phenomenal. You could honestly give the point to either team and the other one wouldn't complain too much. That was excellent effort from both teams, especially Augustana defensively, keeping that point alive time and time again.
Ooh. Bit of a miscue there. Kira Nelson sends it over. Alley high, Staub. Naomi Bunker just punches it across.
Well, coming out to the wing and hitting it like an outside hitter. A little bit out of position right there from Naomi Bunker, but phenomenal mid-air adjustment to earn the point for Wheaton.
We got another timeout here, I believe called by the Vikings again, so they'll huddle up and try to stem this momentum that the Thunder have been able to find, now up 8-4 early on. So off to a good start in this second set. And I think it's really hard when you lose those long volleys that feel like they should be worth 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You lose one of those and it's hard to kind of battle back after that and realize you got nothing out of it, you know?
It's like in soccer, scoring a bicycle kick into the upper 90 and a penalty kick are somehow worth the same. But no, I almost feel bad for Augustana because Wheaton have prevailed on most of those extended rallies, but a number of times in both the first and the second set, the Vikings have done a phenomenal job of just keeping the ball in play, giving themselves a chance of earning the point, even if Wheaton have been successful on most of those. But the endurance on full display from both teams early on.
Yeah, exactly. And the Thunder just had a little more endurance so far in this game. As you mentioned, winning a lot of those longer volleys, and that just really seems to be very confidence building, I would imagine. You know, to play with the team for that long and then come out on top and just outlast your opponent. And that's exactly what the Thunder have been able to do. We'll see if they can continue to extend this lead in the early portions of this game. Mia Staub lining up to serve.
Yeah, and we were spoiled watching this team in the Thunder Quad tournament. Their service game was disproportionately effective from what we've seen for most of this season. Not much to write home about, if we're being honest, from Wheaton from a serving perspective tonight, so let's see if they can get that back on track.
That's Colleen Smith once again. No surprise there to be calling her name on another powerful kill.
Yeah, generating so much force behind that ball. The Augustana players were able to get up and block it, but just fell on the wrong side of the net.
Brannikar, and then slapped over by Julius. Here's Smith again, cross court, and does basically the exact same thing I believe we saw from, might have been Skipper earlier on in this game.
I think she recreated the the Jumpman logo right there, the mid-air flight right there. Her airness, Colleen Smith.
Her airness.
That is phenomenal versatility, just to touch the ball over the top and place it perfectly in this near corner.
Absolutely, and then that's Bunker. Says absolutely not.
Anything Wheaton can do offensively, they can do even better defensively. Caps was up jumping, but I'm pretty sure Bunker got the decisive touch on that one. She hit that one like a kill, even though it was a block.
Generated a lot of force out of the block. That's going to be Caps, and everything going right for the Thunder right now.
Yeah, this team is in the groove here in the middle of this second set. Coach Schmidt has had to issue less directions to her team over the last few points as a result of this team really just finding its groove. As you said, everything turning to gold right now for Wheaton.
Nice dig and almost a save. Both good effort plays, but just not able to get it back over the net.
Mia Staub coming into this one as Wheaton's best server on the year, trailing only Alley High for a number of aces. I talked about the improvement that we needed to see from Wheaton's service game in this second set. We just got it right there from the senior.
Staub sends it over, and there we go. So Vikings able to pick up a point for the first time in a little bit. That's off the Staub trying to get that one and kind of lays out. Thought she might have been able to get under it. That's high. This one's just over. Interesting idea there from Staub to try to send it back in the direction of Bunker, but 2 points now in a row for the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see her not try to touch it over the net right now, especially because in that 3-1 win over Oshkosh last week, she pulled off a couple of really nifty kills like that, so I'm interested that she didn't go for it this time, but Colleen Smith once again trying to get it for Wheaton.
Kira Nelson can't get that kill, and then it's tapped. Oh, just off of the antenna there.
Yeah, it was actually a good recovery effort right there from Janiyah Davis. Just couldn't quite get it to fall on the right side of the net. And Coach Kelly Bethke, she's okay letting this second set ride for the time being. I think I keep expecting to hear the referee's whistle for a timeout, but she is putting her trust in her girls on the floor right now.
Nelson, this goes to Bunker, who hangs in midair for a second and then sends it over. Tapped down by Nelson, blocked by the Thunder, and they're feeling it right now, up 15-6.
That's the best feeling defensively for a team when the ball comes back over your way over the net and you know it's going out. So you just, Caroline Caps just kind of taking the load off there, just taking a step back and saying, no, I don't need to jump for this one.
Should be a relatively free ball for the Thunder. It will be, but actually not even going to have to play it.
It's 2 in a row for Wheaton and Caroline Caps. She just steps out of the way this time.
Says, I don't think so. I don't need to touch this one. 16-6. The Thunder on an absolute tear right now. And we'll see. And there we go. So that's the second time we've seen Jaden Julius kind of getting a point here and there for the Vikings, keeping them in it.
Yeah, she performed well for them in the first set. We called her name a few times offensively. Haven't done so as much this time around, but she hit that with real venom and a much-needed point for Augustana as they look to chip their way back into the second set. But Audrey Gers was asking for a touch right there. I think she knew she put that one long, but still a nice effort there from the senior on the far side.
And now it's Olivia Doak to serve for Augustana. We'll see what they can do with this serve as that's tapped over by Caps, saved again, then sent over by Gers. Good opportunity here. Slam by Miller, and that deflects off a Thunder blocker and out of play.
Yeah, interesting contact from Miller right there. The sound that it made, I was expecting a really hard slam down to the ground, but instead she was kind of able to place it right on the back line. Not an easy one to defend from Wheaton.
Gers gets under that, then gets it back in a mid-range slam. It's very nice. Bunker with a beautiful anticipation play. But an equally good play from the Vikings to keep it up, and then that's Caps says, I'm done with this. Slams that down for the Thunder kill.
That might be the best point all around we've seen from both teams. Really neither one making a mistake right there throughout that series. A couple of great efficient attacks there from Wheaton and just phenomenal defensive effort again from the Vikings. But Caroline Caps is all too happy to finish that one off.
Here's Miller. That goes straight to Caps. Staub, Major, off the block. Surprised that she was able to get that one through. She was close to the net, and both Augustana blockers are right there.
And Mia Staub is just dishing out assists for fun right now in that little middle zone, camping out between the orange line and the net, just serving it up on a platter for some of her teammates.
And she'll get the opportunity to do it again. Straight to Gers, back to back. Mia Staub, I'll help you out. There you go, take it. Beautiful play from Staub. Thunder really just firing on all cylinders right now, whether it be from a defensive blocking standpoint, yeah, from the sets that you're calling out now too, and then when you got Colleen Smith and Gers to just attack, it's kind of hard to mess up. They just need to place the ball in the right spot, and Staub's been doing that.
That's right. Yeah, even if Wheaton had been phenomenal in the second set all season, even if they were undefeated in second sets so far this year, this would be an impressive performance here in the second tonight. But especially given their habit of either dropping or at least seeing a dip in performance in the second set, this has been an impressive response from Coach Schmidt's team as they look to double their advantage on the night. But yeah, in Augustana, this cannot be an easy timeout discussion for them right now, facing a 10-point deficit on the road, as Wheaton, as we have been saying, have really found their groove here in the second.
Yeah, up 19-9 right now, and it was looking pretty close, at least in the very, very early stages of this set, but then just a stretch of like 6 or 7 point run that the Thunder were able to get, and that's kind of what dug the Vikings into this hole that they currently find themselves in.
Yeah, and I think you actually just have to attribute that to good all-around play from Wheaton, as you said earlier. The first set, as good as Augustana's effort was to make things interesting, they were gifting Wheaton an awful lot of points off of service errors and attack errors, but really this time around it has been just Wheaton finding their groove and really dominating on both ends of the floor. But that's a great play right there. Once again, Lexus Miller on the far side getting the job done, pounding it down.
Yeah, Miller been very good for the Vikings side all night long, showing exactly why. That's alley high, Mia Staub, Smith off the block, and just nobody there to back up that play. Point goes to the Thunder.
That's exactly right. Unfortunate from the defensive perspective for Augustana. Janiah Davis did well to get 2 solid hands on that ball, but as you said, a teammate not in position to help her clean things up.
Now it'll be number 3, Marley Anderson on the serve. That's low. That's a nice serve, and I guess maybe going to call that it hit the ground off the serve. Hard to tell, but the point goes to the Thunder.
That must have been the call. I didn't think it did. And once again, Janiah Davis, great reflexes to actually try to keep that one in play, but the referee saw it differently. Nice serve from Marley Anderson.
Coming across is Skipper, who gets rejected. See if they can do it again. These blockers, they do. That's Ashton Major and Briley Brogan at the net, going up in tandem. Block it for a 3rd straight time. Will it be 4? Timing it well this time, and now it's going to be the opportunity to take a slam. Kept up again. Another nice long volley developing. Skipper tips it off the top of the net. Alley high. Sets it up straight for Briley Brogan. All right, who's going to have the endurance in this one? Off the block. Alley high gets it. Major slams it down, and it's the Thunder yet again winning one of these long endurance testing points.
Well, this point was crying out for a finish like that. Marley Anderson all too happy to set it up for Major, and she knows what to do with it in that kind of position, but it was a full-on block party in the first half of that point here in King Arena.
That's Miller. The blockers for the Thunder just being so strong right now, and I didn't even see that one coming from Brogan.
I want to see the replay because I'm not sure how intentional this was. Maybe she meant it. It looked like a bit of a accidental slap off the side of her hand, but either way,
that is
you can't fault the contact when it ends up like that. Turned it out being wonderful placement right there from the senior.
Yeah, that is some incredible misdirection if that was intentional. But Vikings clap right back with a big kill by Skipper. I think if you're the Thunder, you just gotta accept that that's going to happen every now and then when you have a player like Skipper on the other end. High. It's going to be sent over by Smith. Saved by Vranikar. Skipper again. That's pretty far out.
Yeah, I think she looked at the linesman hoping for a favorable decision here, but it pretty clearly didn't get a touch off a Wheaton player.
See the hand go up.
It's set point here for the Thunder. Let's see if Audrey Gers can finish things off from the service spot.
Skipper again. Good job getting over. Good save by Major. Tapped by Colleen Smith. And sent over once again. Colleen Smith with another opportunity. This one dug up by Vranikar. Now Miller. This time it's Anderson to high. Smith for the 3rd time. Kept up for the 3rd time by the Vikings. That's Skipper. Alley high says, I don't think so. Let's do it again. Smith says, let's do it again. And here we continue again. Miller sees if she can get anything to go. Can't. High. Miller again. Slapped over, and that one gets sent way out of bounds, and the Thunder take the 2nd set, 25-11.
Well, I'm amazed that the same thing just kept working for Wheaton. They kept going to Colleen Smith. You give the senior enough chances, she's going to find a way to finish things off. Take nothing away again from Augustana defensively. That was a phenomenal effort, but Wheaton have been automatic on those extended points tonight. They just keep finding a way. And I don't mean this as an insult. That 2nd set was a first-place team versus last-place team kind of set, and I say that as a positive reflection on Wheaton. They were dominant. Really, we mentioned the initial flurry of those teams going back and forth, but since that point, Wheaton just hit the accelerator, kicked it up a notch, and they were deserved winners there in set number 2. Now the question is, can they get only their 2nd conference sweep, or will Augustana still have some gas left in the tank?
Yeah, and exactly what you were saying earlier about this felt like the Thunder outplaying Augustana more than getting a lot of gifts from the Vikings.
I misspoke, John Mark. Their third conference sweep.
Third conference
sweep. I remember the Illinois Wesleyan. I forgot they also swept Carroll here in the opening match of conference play. But yeah, these chances don't come around every day at collegiate volleyball. So Wheaton will be relishing the opportunity to try to send the fans home happy and early. But we'll see if Augustana can bite back here with a set victory of their own.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see as a first place team versus the last place team. You want to see those dominant victories, take care of business, do what you have to do. The Thunder, that's, I think, really the mark of, a team that can win a championship, a team that can do what is required of them depending on what that is,
Well, and you've got to be able to win every which way. We've seen dominant performances from Wheaton against Carroll and Illinois Wesleyan. We saw just a clinical victory over North Central in 4 sets, and then we obviously saw the epic marathon clash at Milliken, which went to 5 sets. Wheaton looking a couple of times like they were going to drop that one, and they just found it deep within themselves to come back and pull out that classic victory. So this team has shown great versatility all season long. As John Panner does his world-famous Around the Ground sports update, a classic tradition here in King Arena. If I don't hear cricket, I'm going to be very disappointed. I live for the cricket scores.
The cricket scores.
Do I know who's playing? No. Do I watch the matches? No. But I just love hearing it.
Do I understand how cricket even works? No, probably not.
We're American. That's not our thing.
It looks fun, from what I can tell.
It does. Oh, I would love to play cricket. It looks very fun.
To run back and forth instead of like 3 different bases. You just go back and forth.
You get your distance in.
It's simpler.
Just a different sort of.
Yeah.
That's the same with volleyball. You're not covering a whole lot of ground, but boy, these players are racking up some serious mileage.
Absolutely the case. The Thunder are primed and ready to go, smiling, laughing. You can tell they're having a good time.
Oh, it must be fun to be in that camp right now. I think volleyball is always a positive, uplifting sport. I mean, every team I've watched has a great clubhouse attitude, but especially when you're winning and you're playing well. And we talked about at the top of the live stream, Wheaton's not used to being in this position. This is not a program that churns out CCIW championships every year. So I think they can relish it even more being in a position like this at the top of the conference standings.
Yeah,
the one to keep our eye on tomorrow night, John Mark, Carthage traveling to North Central. Interesting matchup there. Obviously, Carthage being favored, but North Central not a bad team this year. They were able to take a set off of Wheaton here in King Arena earlier this season. If Wheaton are able to close out this victory and then North Central pull the upset tomorrow night, things are looking very good for the Thunder.
Yeah, no, for sure. Carthage and Illinois Wesleyan are the teams that are on the heels of the Thunder in the CCIW conference, sitting at 4-1 apiece. Obviously, the Thunder still undefeated, but yeah, that would be a huge turn of events if North Central could take that game from Carthage.
And the Titans, Illinois Wesleyan, they have been on a tear since that opening day defeat to Wheaton. So that road sweep over Illinois Wesleyan is looking better and better by the day for this Thunder team. Obviously, having the head-to-head advantage over the Titans in the standings is key.
Yeah, giving them their only loss, exactly.
Oh, Audrey Gers, okay. Well, outside of the hand slap right there. That was unorthodox from the senior, but
yeah, I feel like I see that in spike ball. I don't know if I've seen that in volleyball.
She was swatting the fly. She was swatting the fly. That's what she was doing. But hey, if it works, whatever it takes to get that ball over the net.
And this will be Skipper. That's a powerful hit from well back in the backcourt, and that's Miller setting it up.
Unfortunate miss hit right there from Marley Anderson defensively. It was a great effort initially from Sophia Pluhar to actually dive down and get that ball to go back over the net first time, but a well-deserved point there for the Vikings to tie it up at 1.
It'll be Julius. Woo, that one had some interesting spin on it. Couldn't land it quite in. But
and talk about unorthodox, the serving method right there from Jaden Julius, but it nearly worked to perfection. Great power on it, just put it a foot long.
Now it's going to be Major. Tips over the net. Nice reaction from Grace Vandekar and then slammed over. So that's a few good. Wait, actually, no. That's going to go in the favor of. It looks like the Thunder got the whistle there. It's hard to tell.
No, it was. No, yeah, it was a point
direction.
for Augustana.
Okay, it was.
Yeah, I think that was Vandekar getting the final touch there for the Vikings. Another hard-earned point for the guests right at the net.
That one's lofted by Smith. And then here's Colleen Smith with another opportunity. Ranikar keeps that one. Miller, is that in? It is. It must have just hit that sideline.
Yeah, it did catch the line. I think Brogan, perhaps understandably so, I think she thought she was closer to the sideline than she was, letting that one go over her head. Marley Anderson as well couldn't quite reach it.
Well, that is close, just getting a piece of the line. Allie High can't quite get enough on that to keep it over the net. It's kind of a little bit of a miscue from High and Anderson both going for that ball.
Yeah, the Thunder looking surprisingly out of sync defensively here at the beginning of the set, but take nothing away from the start for Augustana.
And that's Briley Brogan with the kill.
Much needed sort of reset point right there from Wheaton to get it back down to a 1-point deficit, but Augustana haven't really been in the lead yet tonight, so interested to see how they handle being in this position.
Good, probably the best start that we've seen from the Vikings so far for sure. So now it's Staub on the serve. Nice dig from Ashley Aubrey, and that'll be a point going in favor of the Vikings.
Yeah, looks like Lexus Miller once again on that far side getting the decisive touch. Wheaton have struggled to keep her in check really all evening. As we see Amelie Bear-Ross here out of Thornton, Colorado, dropping back to serve for Augustana. Never been to Colorado, John Mark, have you?
I have been to Colorado, actually.
It's a beautiful state.
It is. I was in a small mountain town named Ouray, Colorado, actually. It's beautiful.
That's great.
It's my only time. I haven't done any skiing or anything. Nice hit there. I believe that was Caps. Beautiful kill.
She hit that one all the way to Colorado.
She did hit that one all the way to Colorado. Yes, sir. 5-4 is the lead now for the Vikings. Thunder trying to get back in the driver's seat where they've been much of this game. That's number 29, Borntrager, just checked in. Now Smith again. Nice reaction from Gers. It's going to be Caps. Changes up the tempo, but looked like the Viking side was ready for that as Skipper just spikes it straight down.
Yeah, they certainly were. I don't know if they expected it ahead of time or they just timed their jump perfectly, but you can understand why Caps was looking for the switch up at the last second there, trying to throw Augustana off guard, but the Vikings read that one to perfection. And this has been the most clinical start to a set we've seen yet from the guests.
Gers flies off the top of the block, and Skipper keeps that one, and then I believe that's number 25 on the side of Augustana, Jenny Dunder, the kill there.
Yeah, Bunker and Caps getting up at the same time, just squeezed between the arms of both players. Another hard-fought point there for the Vikings.
That'll sail out of play, so that's definitely not what you want to see from the Vikings side as they're finally starting to get some momentum. They give it right back to the Thunder. But overall, kind of a different lineup right now from the Vikings that than we've seen for most of this game. Some faces we haven't seen much of, and for now they're going with it and it's working. Here's Gers. One popped up by number 8, Julius. Staub, High, Caps. Beautiful slam.
Well, she has come to life in the last 2 sets. We didn't call her name many times in the first, but Caroline Caps has been one of the impact players here recently for the Thunders. We see another powerful kill right there from the freshman. Coach Schmidt has to be so pleased with the season-long development of both her and Ashton Major, 2 freshmen who are bound to have big futures as a part of this program.
Yeah, very broken play developing here, and it's just bumped out of play. Well, that will go to the Vikings, but some interesting plays had to be made from both sides in that point.
Yeah, it was hard to tell which way that one was going to fall, but the Vikings will be relieved to finally earn a marathon point of their own, but not doing themselves any favors from the service game right now.
No, it seems like everything is going as well as the Vikings could hope, aside from, these service errors that are keeping the Thunder around when this is probably the longest stretch that the Vikings have been able to outplay the Thunder yet. And absolutely not doing themselves any favors with these unforced errors, as it's now Marley Anderson to serve for the Thunder. That's another error, so 2 consecutive points just gifted to the Thunder side.
John Mark, we would be remiss if we did not shout out Wheaton legend Pete Felsky, former women's soccer head coach, who is in attendance tonight. Women's soccer team taking on UW lacrosse in a non-conference clash. You'll be on the call for that one.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Got to get these Thunder fans to come back tomorrow afternoon. Ashton Major trying to make sure Augustana do not come back with a hit like that. That was punishing.
Man, it seems like she doesn't get to go for many of these big spikes, but when she does, she's so effective with them. And that's going to sail out of play. But yeah, no, 4:30 tomorrow. Wheaton women's soccer versus UW lacrosse. Absolutely tune in for that one. I expect it to be a lot lower scoring than this here, but
I don't know. We could get a 25-23 soccer match. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger
maybe.
things have
I don't know. Women's soccer also tied for the conference lead, though.
Yeah.
Unbeaten so far in conference play. Women's teams are killing it so far, pun intended.
Killing it. We'll see if the Thunder can get a kill here. They won't this time. It's on the side of the Vikings. That's Miller again.
Yeah, Alexis Miller on that far side. She has been really eating things up tonight for Augustana. Wheaton have struggled to come up with a answer that will sufficiently limit her production from the court.
I'm getting under that. And that's Gers, perfectly placed ball straight between two Augustana defenders.
Well, the blind set right there from Marley Anderson back over her head. That's so hard to defend because you never really see it coming. Great switch up right there between two seniors, and Gers was in the perfect position to take advantage.
Here's Skipper. Good dig from number 6 for the Thunder, Sophia Pluhar. Trying to keep it up is 14, Olivia Doak, but can't quite do it.
Well, it is still anyone's set here, but it has been an excellent response from Wheaton after falling behind by a few points early on. They looked out of sorts for the first 10 points or so of this set, but clawing their way back into it and actually getting a lead here after these last few points.
Taking their first lead of this set. That's Brogan. He's going to go to Miller, who's been so effective in this set so far. That's Ashton Major calling for it, getting it. Miller with a mid-range shot. Back to Smith. Flips it cross court. Granikart gets under it. Tapped, rejected. Try again. Slammed down by Brogan. Brings down the hammer.
Well, you know what's coming, but you can't always stop it. Briley Brogan, it was clear what she wanted to do right there as soon as the ball sat up for her just on the right side of the net, but Augustana not able to get players over in time. And once again, Wheaton emerges on top after the extended point.
Whew. That had some power to it too, unfortunately a little bit too much.
Yeah, Jaden Julius putting 150% into that attempted kill as we see the Vikings take a timeout here. Wheaton with their largest lead of the third set.
Yeah, 13-10, battling all the way back from an early 7-4 deficit that they found themselves in. So yeah, doing a good job of kind of embodying that versatility that we talked about, just being able to play in multiple positions when they're leading by lots or when they're down early, and just really playing well regardless of the situation. Now up 13-10, as I don't believe the Thunder have taken a timeout yet in this entire game.
Not that I'm aware of, and that kind of tells you all you need to know about how they've performed so far. This hasn't been a flawless performance. They've made some mental mistakes, especially in that first set, and they have allowed Augustana to come out on top early on here in this third, but really the second halves of each of the 3 sets so far, Wheaton has just really hit another level and kicked it up a few notches, and just kind of asserted their home floor dominance here, but obviously still quite a ways to go if they're gonna wrap up this 3-set sweep.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be the critical stretch of this third set, as the game is still within striking distance for the Vikings, and Thunder are gonna see if they can do what needs to be done to close it out. We have Sophia Pluhar with the ball, looking to start that route to this clean sweep. And that's a good start for the Thunder, and not so much for the Vikings, as that Skipper sending it straight into the net.
Yeah, rare miss hit there from Augustana's number 26. We've called her name in a lot of good ways tonight, but an error right there, gifting Wheaton the point out of the timeout. But instantly making up for it from an Augustana perspective. Was that Skipper? No, I was mistaken. Yeah, that was Miller here on the near side. Used to seeing her on the far side, so my brain
very
is
fair.
Yeah, only a 3-point lead here for the Thunder. This one is not over yet.
No, absolutely not. Anybody's game at this point. This is Ashley Aubrey with the serve. And Brogan, that takes a few bounces off the top of the net. Kept up, and this is Skipper. Nice reaction by Colleen Smith to keep this ball in play. Now it's Miller again, and that's no way is that one going to be kept in. Miller coming up really, really clutch for this Vikings team in these really critical stages.
Yeah, back-to-back points here for the visitors from Rock Island. A couple more here will make things very dicey for Wheaton in this third set.
Major acting like that ball's, I don't even know, said something mean about just absolutely demolishing it. It doesn't seem like the Vikings ever really recovered from that just crushing hit.
Yeah, and obviously Briley Brogan there finishing things off again for the Thunder. She's had a solid performance here tonight. As Major drops back to serve. Ooh, quite a few touches off the top of the net. Favorably for Wheaton.
Yikes.
Naomi Bunker, my goodness.
My goodness.
Her and Smith got up, but that was Naomi Bunker all day. One of the smoothest blocks you will see.
Yeah. Bunker ate that for lunch and dinner. Ashton Major, would that tip off the net again? That was close. Miller. That's straight out of bounds. The Thunder extending their lead to 5.
Ashton Major, it's been pretty feast or famine for her from the service spot so far this year. Obviously service not the strong point of her game, but she's gone on a nice run right here. She has come up a couple of clutch times from that position for Wheaton so far this season.
Bunker, yet again, so much power, blocking or attacking.
Well, she was arguably the MVP of the third and fourth sets the other night in the win over Oshkosh. She came off the bench to make a big impact for the team in that 3-1 victory. And third set once again proving to be Naomi Bunker's best friend.
And in the interval between the last timeout and now this timeout, the Thunder on a 5-1 run in that critical span. We're up 13-11, now 18-12, so doing exactly what we hoped they would do and extending this lead to 6 as they edge closer and closer to closing this one out, just like how we would like to see them do.
Well, and if we talked about this being a trap game, Wheaton has not played like it's been a trap game. They have been locked in all evening, apart from the little blip in the first set and the slow start to this third set. It has been all Thunder this evening, and obviously haven't closed this one out just yet, but they are doing a great job of staying mentally focused, and if they do have top of the standings jitters, they are not showing it.
No, absolutely not. Thunder look like they are pretty comfortable where they're at the top of the heap. Looking to improve to 5-0. Time will run out on this timeout. Vikings still thinking about it. Now we'll break the huddle, but just 7 more points for the Thunder to clinch this. And if how they played out of that first timeout is any indicator, they're ready to go.
Another interesting thing for me is how different coaches and teams use the length of the timeout. We were here for the Thunder Quad tournament, and one of the teams was extending the timeout by about 30 seconds more than they were allotted, and then Wheaton here out on the court with 20 seconds to spare. It's just a funny difference in psychology. Great kill by Augustana on that last point. Important point for them coming out of that stoppage.
Yeah, it feels like the Thunder are really just waiting for, you know, the need to change their game plan. They really haven't had to yet because they're playing well.
Abby Boss into the match for the first time tonight, immediately gets the service reception right there for Wheaton. Good to see her getting some minutes. Oh man,
huge block.
Naomi Bunker again. 3 in a row for Wheaton.
feels like you don't usually see blocks that fly all the way into the back line, because there was just nobody there on the side of the Vikings. You just don't expect that to happen, but
I think she saw Byerly pass her in the block standings and took it personally.
Sure. Understandable.
Maybe having their own interpersonal competition there.
That's it. Oh, that was just Allie High probably would have been able to get under that, but her teammate Mia Staub also made a good play.
Well, if there is going to be a miscommunication as a coach, you want it to be a situation like that, where both players are giving 100%, trying to keep it alive.
Right. Yeah, it was the effort from both of them that actually ended up resulting in that miscue. Mia Staub crossed to Caps, sends it straight to Vanikar, who, wow.
It somehow did not touch any of
dodges every single obstacle in her way.
I almost feel bad for Augustana that Wheaton were ultimately able to get that point, because that was quite a save, but take nothing away from Caroline Caps. Powerful finish once again for the freshman.
Yeah, the amount of nonsense it had to dodge up in the rafters to get across the net there. Almost felt like they deserved that point. That's an unfortunate miscue on the side of the Vikings. So that's going to be an ace for Smith. 21-14, Thunder up by a comfortable 7 points at this point. Smith, ooh, tapped over. Like the idea. Execution just wasn't quite there.
That's not the first time, really, from either side tonight we've seen a point like that where you see exactly what the player was going for, and you can't even fault them for trying it. It just didn't work out perfectly, but it feels like the last few wins for Wheaton, Colleen Smith has been in the service position to help close things out for the Thunder. Is that going to happen again? The answer is no. Got an immediate answer to my question.
Yep. This time it's Skipper. Just off the block, picking up first point for the Vikings in a little bit. Now she'll go back to take this serve. 3 points remain for the Thunder. That's Caps.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Well, that was Emma Kulak on the far side for Augustana getting out of the way. And I think I don't know if she thought that was going out of bounds or just couldn't really get her body in the way, but I can't blame her because that was firing off the hand of Caps.
Skipper with the dig. A nice save by Staub. That's a free ball for the Vikings. And slung over top, and that's a point for the Thunder. So it didn't deflect off of anything. Thought it might have, but that's 25. Jenny Dunder.
Mifflin. Sorry, I had to. Too easy. She probably hears
Mifflin.
that all the time.
I'm sure she does.
I apologize. Well, we blinked, and suddenly it's match point for Wheaton, and there you go. It's no longer match point.
Yes, indeed. So the Thunder with a dominant first-place worthy performance, taking it 3-0, 25-15, doing what we hoped they would do, doing what I'm sure they hoped they would do going into this, getting the sweep, taking down Augustana, and they, as we kind of talked about, have some important matchups coming up at Elmhurst and at Carthage. So hopefully this taking care of business against Augustana leads into doing the same against those two teams.
That's right, and only one more home match in the regular season for Wheaton against North Park a couple weeks from now. We will hope for something even just remotely as clinical as we saw tonight in that senior day performance. That'll be a fun occasion, but this has been quite the impressive statement here made by Wheaton. We talked about it a minute ago. If they are getting nervous in this unfamiliar territory, that can be both a blessing and a curse, being first place in a position in which you are not usually for this Wheaton volleyball program. But they sure seem to be having a lot of fun on the court right now. It's fun to watch this team play, and they are just a couple of wins away now from a conference regular season title.
Absolutely. So the Thunder moved to 13-8, 5-0 in CCIW play, remain atop the CCIW conference. For Gabe Woodowis, I'm John Mark Mills. Thank you for joining us at King Arena on WTSN.